Chapter 1. Jessica. The floor-to-ceiling windows of my office frames roam like a painting, golden domes glittering beneath the afternoon sun, winding alleys splitting through modern rooftops, and the chaotic hum of the city far, far below. From up here, the world looked quiet, almost peaceful. Inside, the space is a perfect blend of elegance and quiet power. The sleek black desk, designed by me, sits at the center, commanding yet minimal, with only my laptop, a few papers, and a single pen resting in alignment. Behind it, the leather chair, high-backed and caramel-toned, is custom-made for me as I carry authority not through noise, but through presence. To one side, I had a built-in bookshelf which runs along the wall, its warm lighting spilling over rows of neatly arranged books, art pieces, and a few personal mementos that soften the austerity. The floor gleams dark and polished, the reflection of the city lights dancing faintly across it. A soft rug spreads beneath the desk, grounding the room with a touch of warmth. This isn't just a normal office. It's a reflection of control, precision, and solitude. The kind of place where deals are made, empires are built, and silence speaks louder than words. And yet, beneath the curated calm of everything, I couldn't shake the feeling that something is about to shatter. I stood at the window, arms crossed, watching the city move. Cars like ants, people like shadows. My reflection stared back at me in the glass. Long brown hair in perfect waves, sharp jawline, tailored cream suit. Elegant, collected, unapproachable. Behind me, the massive double doors to my office opened without a knock. Only one person in the world would do that.
"Hey, Jess,"
Sophie's voice called, the sound of heels echoing on marble.
"You're going to want to sit for this."
I turned,
arching a brow.
If it's another fucking royal wanting a marble bathtub shaped like a swan?
It's not royal.
She held out a silver envelope like it was ticking.
It's bigger.
Sophie Grace is one of the persons I trust without condition, COO of Aura Designs, my best friend since high school and the only one who knows what is hiding behind my polished smile. I took the envelope from her and sank into the chair behind my desk. The Aura logo shimmered on the envelope's flap. That meant it came through internal channels, vetted, important. I broke the seal, and inside are blueprints, a black and white photo of a crumbling estate, and a card, unmarked except for a handwritten symbol in red ink, a crescent moon in an upside-down triangle with 2 dots inside the triangle, and a vertical slash through it. I went still. My pulse stutters and fingers twitch. Slowly, unconsciously, I pressed my hand against my lower belly over the thin, curved scar that had lived there since childhood. It had never faded, just like the questions. I have seen this symbol before. I didn't know where or when, but I know it. Know it in my bones.
"Where did this come from?" I asked, my voice calm, too calm.
"An anonymous shell company, but I ran a background trace. Every wire transfer, every architect request, every signature route, all of it leads back to DC Group." I looked up sharply.
"Dominic CAINE?"
Sophie nodded. "Not directly. He never signs anything himself. But yes, the house, the land, the project, the offer, it's all his. And Jess? The numbers? Unlimited budget. Full creative control. No press, no client contact. It's eerie."
I turned the photo over. A date was scrawled in pencil, October 23rd, 2001, the year the original CAINE estate burned. My mind raced. Why me? Why now? Why this house? I force myself to stand, pacing slowly across the floor. The heels of my stilettos echoed. My heart feels tight in my chest, not from fear, but from something deeper, something buried, something remembered. I should say no, I whisper. Sophie leaned against the edge of the desk. But you won't. No, I say, lifting my eyes to hers. I won't. That night, the world outside my penthouse office blurred into neon and night. I am sitting alone at my drafting table, sketching, redesigning, translating blueprints into art, but my mind isn't in it. My eyes kept drifting back to the symbol. It pulled at me, like gravity, like fate. I don't know why, of all people, I am the one who was going for a restoration project that hadn't seen light in decades. I don't know what the scar on my belly had to do with the symbol inside a long-dead mansion. But I know one thing. This isn't just a job. This is the beginning of something I wouldn't come back from, and I am definitely going to that mansion.
Chapter 2, Jessica. The car slices through the Roman outskirts like a whisper through silk. Quiet, smooth, and far too expensive to belong to anyone normal. I sit alone in the back seat of the matte black sedan that had arrived at my building at exactly 8 a.m., just as Sophie said it would. No name, no driver ID, no explanation, only a soft-spoken man in a tailored suit who opened the door for me and nodded. No words, just expectation. I should be afraid, and I am. A little, but beneath the nerves, something heavier stirred. Not fear, but a deep, disorienting pull, like the first inhale of perfume you know you've smelled before on someone long dead. I watched the city melt away through the tinted glass, the modern skyline fading into hills and olive groves, then forests. Buildings gave way to ruins, and ruins to forgotten roads. I haven't said a word since I entered the car. Neither had the driver. We climbed steadily for what felt like hours, turning onto a stone path walled in by cypress trees so tall they blocked out the sun. When we finally broke through the canopy, the car slows, gravel crunching beneath the tires. And then, there it is. The CAINE estate. The mansion stood before me like a ghost, frozen in time. Its walls, draped in ivy and shadows, looked as though they'd been whispering secrets to the wind for decades. The air was cold, not biting, but still enough to make me pull my coat tighter, and every breath carried the scent of damp earth and something older, something that had lingered here too long. My eyes traced the broken arches, the cracked windows, the wrought iron balconies that clung desperately to the facade like memories refusing to let go. There was a certain kind of beauty in the decay. Haunting, tragic, and almost dignified. The mansion wasn't dead. It was simply waiting. Waiting for someone foolish enough to step closer. A gust of wind stirred the brittle leaves at my feet, scattering them across the path like the remnants of forgotten footsteps. The glass conservatory on the side caught a hint of fading light, reflecting it back weakly, like a heartbeat that refused to stop entirely. I could almost imagine laughter echoing through those halls once, the clinking of glasses, the soft rustle of silk. But now, silence ruled. Something in me stirred, that strange pull I couldn't quite name. Maybe it was curiosity, maybe recognition. The house felt eerily familiar, as if I'd dreamed of it before or lived here in another life. Its presence pressed against me heavy and watchful, as though it knew my name before I even spoke it. I swallowed hard, my pulse echoing in the stillness. For a moment, I wasn't sure if I was standing before a ruin or something that had been waiting for me to come home. The doors creak open with surprising ease, and inside the grand foyer of the old mansion was a testament to forgotten splendor, now a haunting echo of its past. I stepped cautiously onto the creaking wooden floor, each step kicking up a fine dust that danced in the shafts of sunlight piercing through the tall, arched double doors.
The doors, once pristine white, were now chipped and peeling testament to neglect, their many small panes of glass revealing only a blinding brightness from outside. My gaze drifted upwards, the once ornate ceiling, now a tattered canvas of crumbling plaster, hanging in jagged shards like an ancient, forgotten map. A solitary, dark metal chandelier, intricate and birdcage-like, hung precariously from the center, casting long, eerie shadows that stretched across the room. It swayed ever so slightly, as if stirred by a phantom breeze. The wallpaper, a faded tapestry of dark blues and greens, depicted lush, overgrown jungle scenes. Exotic birds and dense foliage, once vibrant, were now muted and peeling, exposing patches of the plaster beneath. On either side of the main entrance, two large empty doorways beckoned into other forgotten rooms, their frames still grand despite the decay. Through the windows in these adjoining rooms, more sunlight streamed in, creating bright rectangles on the dust-laden floors. To my left, a sweeping wooden staircase began its ascent, its dark banisters still elegant, but the spindles beneath were grimy and scarred. It felt as though time itself had paused here, trapping the last vestiges of wealth and beauty in a slow, agonizing decay. I shivered, not from cold, but from the overwhelming sense of history and sorrow that clung to every corner of the vast, silent hall. I ran my fingers along the wall as I felt something strange, and then I saw it. Carved into the wall behind the staircase, hidden beneath layers of soot and peeling paint, was the same symbol from the envelope. A triangle, a moon and two dots, a vertical line bisecting the mark. My pulse spikes as I pull a glove from my bag and carefully scrape away more of the surface. Beneath the grime, the symbol glowed faintly, almost as if it had been burned into the wall instead of carved, as if someone had wanted it seen only by those who knew where to look. I didn't hear the footsteps behind me at first, but I felt them. A weight in the air, a drop in temperature. And then...
Why are you here?
The voice is deep, smooth, controlled. It slid down my spine like ice water. I turned slowly, heart pounding in my throat, and there he was, DOMINIC CAINE. He stood in the doorway of his old mansion, the decaying walls bending to his presence. The faint light caught the sharp lines of his face, high cheekbones, a sculpted jaw dusted with stubble, and eyes so dark they looked like they could swallow secrets whole. There was no warmth in them, only control. The kind of control that came from a man who'd seen too much, done worse, and never once flinched. His suit fit him like sin, tailored perfectly across broad shoulders and a body built on precision and discipline, not vanity. Every movement was calculated, restrained, like a predator who didn't need to prove he could destroy. He didn't look dangerous. He was danger wrapped in human form. The kind that made your heart race before your mind even caught up. The way he looked at me wasn't the kind of gaze that searched. It assessed. Cold, deliberate, stripping me down to my intentions before I even spoke. There was a heaviness around him, the kind that comes from loss too personal to ever be spoken aloud. The mansion wasn't just his past. It was his wound. And standing there, I realized he didn't just rule the Mafia empire of Europe or a billion-euro company. He ruled himself. Every thought, every emotion, every weakness. DOMINIC CAINE was the kind of man who didn't have to raise his voice to command obedience. The world bent quietly around him. And still, there was something magnetic, almost primal, in the way he carried his silence, as if behind it lay a storm waiting for the right person to set it free. His gaze dropped to my gloved hand, still hovering near the symbol, then rose to meet mine.
That symbol doesn't belong to you,
He said, voice low and unreadable. I swallow. No, but neither does it belong to you. For a heartbeat, nothing moved. The world held its breath. Then, with deliberate calm, he took a few steps toward me. The air cracked between us, sharp and electric, like something alive had awakened inside these dead walls. His scent, smoke, leather, rain, wrapped around me, the kind of dangerous warmth that made it hard to think straight. His gaze didn't waver, neither did mine. It felt like a test, or a warning, and I wasn't sure which one of us would break first.
Chapter 3. Dominic. I had told them no one was to enter the estate without my approval. So when the motion sensors on the main wing lit up this morning, I assumed it was one of Knox's men, or worse, Max. I never expected her. Jessica Windsor. The name alone is enough to make my blood cold. Knox Windsor is the reason half of the underworld ran on suffering, a fucking trafficker disguised as a tycoon. Me and my father's biggest rival, and the man I believe have something to do with my parents' death. Now his daughter stands in the ruins of my family's estate, tracing her fingers over that symbol like she had the right. The moment my eyes meet hers, I knew she wasn't just beautiful. Beauty was too simple a word for her. She was composed, effortlessly, dangerously composed, like someone who'd learned how to survive in rooms filled with men who underestimated her. The faint light streaming through the broken windows caught her dark hair, turning it to silk against the pale skin of her neck. And then there were her eyes. Blue, sharp, and calm, but carrying something behind them I couldn't name. A quiet defiance, a question, maybe even a challenge. She didn't flinch when I spoke, didn't cower. That symbol doesn't belong to you.
Neither does it belong to you.
When she spoke, her voice was low, soft, like silk, but it carried. It wasn't the sound that caught me, it was the control in it. That quiet steadiness that slipped beneath your skin before you realized you were listening too closely. I should have thrown her out then and there. Fuck, I should have called my security team and had her escorted back to her glass palace of an office in the sky. But I didn't. Instead, I take another step toward her. I tell myself it is to intimidate, control, establish dominance. But it was a lie. The truth is simpler. I wanted to see what she'd do. And she didn't move. Not even when I closed the distance and stopped just 2 feet from her, close enough to see the tiny mole near her temple, the way her throat bobbed once before going still again. And her scent. God. Subtle but impossible to forget. Something floral, maybe jasmine or rosewood, wrapped in warmth and rain. The kind of scent that didn't just linger in the air, but anchor itself in your mind. Addictive in a way that felt dangerous. I'd seen women who were flawless, seductive, commanding, but Jessica Windsor was something else entirely. She had elegance without effort, confidence without arrogance, and a hint of sorrow that she tried to bury beneath her poise. The kind of woman who could walk into a room full of power and still make it shift around her.
Why are you here? I ask again, my voice low, measured, the kind that draws truth whether someone wants to give it or not. She doesn't flinch. Her chin lifts slightly, the faintest tilt of defiance.
I was commissioned to restore the house.
By me, I say, narrowing my eyes. Though I don't remember asking for you specifically.
You didn't?
She replies.
But I am the best, so they sent me.
She didn't say it arrogantly, just as a fact. Cold, clean, confident. And it pissed me off how right she is. I take a slow breath, letting silence hang between us before I say, "Your father would be proud." The words hit their mark. Her guard falters, barely, but enough for me to see it. Her lips part, her gaze flickers. Not pain, exactly, but something heavier. Guilt? Resentment? I can't tell, only that the word father lands like a bruise.
You don't know anything about my father.
she says quietly. Maybe not, but I know enough about mine. My father, Luca CAINE, had stood in this house once. The last time I saw him alive, he kissed my head and said he'd be back for dinner. He never returned. The house was torched that night. No witnesses, no suspects, just ashes and 2 unrecognizable bodies the police labeled accidental. I was 5. And now here she is, the daughter of the man I suspect helped kill mine, standing where his blood once stained the marble. And yet, she didn't feel like the enemy. She felt like a question I haven't yet asked, a mystery I haven't yet solved. You're not just here for design, are you? She exhaled, long and slow.
Honestly, I don't know why I'm here, but I think I'm supposed to be.
That answer should have irritated me, but instead it landed somewhere I didn't like, somewhere under my ribs, a place I hadn't let anyone near. I stepped back, just slightly, before my instincts made a mistake my mind would regret. Touch anything without my permission again, and you won't leave this house with your career intact. She doesn't argue. She just looks at me, a look I can't read, and that infuriates me, before turning away. Her heels echo against the black marble as she walks deeper into the house, the sound fading into the long, hollow corridors.
Chapter 4. Jessica. I don't look back as I walk down the hall, but I feel him behind me, heavy like smoke, silent like regret. Dominic CAINE doesn't move like a man, he moves like a weapon, and right now every inch of his ruined estate feels like it's breathing with him. The hallway opens into what must have once been the formal gallery. Shattered paintings lie in crooked frames, their canvases torn, faded, like forgotten lives trying to claw their way out. The ceiling stretches high above, domed and cracked, gold flaking down like fallen stars. I pause in the center of the room, feeling the faint echo of heat beneath my heels. There was a fire here, years ago, but some places never stop burning. The floor groans under my weight. The silence is thicker here, heavier. This house doesn't just creak and whisper like old buildings do. It mourns. I drop my letter bag and pull out my tools. Notebook, phone, a compact laser measurer. Professional, composed, focused. The Jessica WINDSOR everyone expects. The version I trained into existence. But my fingers tremble slightly as I scan the room, and I know it isn't from nerves. It's from memory, or something close to it. The moment I stepped inside this house, my body reacted before my brain could catch up. My skin prickled. My heart beats differently. Not faster, just more present. Like some part of me recognizes this place, which shouldn't be possible. I was never here. At least, I don't think I was. Still, my eyes keep drifting toward the corners, toward shadows, toward shapes that don't exist. I feel watched, but not in the usual way, not in the rich client expects perfection way. No, this feels personal, like the walls are waiting to see what I'll do. I force myself to focus, take photos, measure angles, note the curvature of the walls, the dimensions of the fireplace, the intricate ceiling medallion that somehow survived the blaze. The materials are exquisite beneath the ash: Carrara marble, antique gold leaf, imported Sicilian oak. This wasn't just a home, it was a monument, a legacy in stone. And now it's broken, like someone tried to erase what it meant. I walk into an adjacent chamber, maybe a study once, and pause when I spot a tall mirror leaning against the far wall. Cracked in one corner, speckled with dust, but still whole enough to reflect me. I stare at myself. I look like I belong here, hair pinned back in a twist, sharp blazer, heels dusted from old marble. I could have been the mistress of this house centuries ago, or its prisoner. The mirror flickers slightly with light as the sun shifts. For a second, I swear I see a figure behind me. Tall, broad, unmoving. I spin, and nothing. Just a ripple of shadow across the cracked wallpaper. No footsteps, no breath. I exhale. Get it together, Jess. I turn back to the mirror, and that's when I see it. A symbol, carved faintly into the lower wooden frame, barely visible unless the light hits just right. A triangle, a moon, and 2 dots and a single line cutting through them. The same one that appeared in the blueprints. The one burned into the foyer. The one that echoes the shape of the scar etched on my stomach. The one I've never been able to explain. I crouch down slowly, heart thudding. I trace the symbol with my glove. It's old, scratched in with something sharp, not decorative, not even deliberate. A warning, or a mark.
Found something interesting?
I jump, his voice again. Low, icy, closer than I expected. I shoot to my feet and turn to face him. DOMINIC stands in the doorway, arms crossed, watching me with the stillness of a predator. God, his eyes. They're so unreadable it makes my skin itch. It's not that they're cold, it's that they're calculated. Like he's already dissected everything I am and is simply waiting for me to catch up. I nod toward the mirror. Do you know what that symbol means?
I know enough.
He says. And are you going to tell me? He tilts his head slightly.
Why would I?
Because it's on my body. Because it haunts my dreams. Because the moment I saw it, I knew this project wasn't about design, it was about discovery. But I don't say any of that. Instead, I hold his days. Because if you want me to rebuild this house, I need to know what broke it. A tense silence stretches between us. Then, very softly, DOMINIC says,
Some things shouldn't be rebuilt.
and with that, he turns and walks away, leaving me in the room full of broken things.
Chapter 5. DOMINIC. Jessica Windsor moves like she belongs here, like she was carved from the same marble this house was built with. All cool control and sharp edges. I hate how my eyes follow her, even when she's no longer in the room. It's been a week now, but she hasn't done anything suspicious. She left the East Wing hours ago, and I'm still in my study, staring at surveillance feeds and open dossiers. I type her name into my private system for the 3rd time. She is the golden girl of designing industry in the whole Europe. Polished, perfect, too perfect. I dig into her records, expecting the cracks. Maybe sealed juvenile files, falsified school data, hidden health records. Anything. But fuck, everything comes back clean. Too clean. Elite boarding school. Graduated with top honors from a Parisian design institute. Founded Aura Designs at 24. Handled 5 ultra-luxury estates. Worked with royal families, diplomats, tech billionaires. No financial red flags. No known connections to her father's criminal network. No suspicious travel. No anomalies. But that's exactly the problem. No one gets to the top of this world without a little dirt under their nails. No favors, no whispered scandals, no untraceable donors. Unless they're hiding something, or unless they've been trained to appear spotless. The thought tastes bitter. My mind starts circling her father, Knox Windsor. Ruthless, manipulative, A man who could turn blood into currency and sleep soundly after. But Jessica, she doesn't fit. Every instinct tells me she's different, that she doesn't carry his rot, that maybe, somehow, she doesn't even know who he truly is. And that confuses the hell out of me. Because I've seen the look in her eyes, that quiet strength, that curiosity. She walks like someone who's built her own world, not inherited it. She speaks with precision, not entitlement. There's no fear in her, no calculation, just this frustrating sincerity that makes me want to believe her, and that's dangerous. I rub a hand over my jaw, staring at her photograph again. The way her hair falls over one shoulder, the faint curve of her lips, the calm in her eyes. There's something almost too real about her, too human in a world that stopped feeling human a long time ago. Maybe that's why she feels like a lie I can't prove. But it's more than suspicion now. It's pull. A slow, relentless pull that's starting to burn under my skin. Every time I look at her image, I tell myself I'm studying her, analyzing, assessing, predicting. But the truth is uglier. My gaze lingers too long. I start noticing things I shouldn't. The softness at the corner of her mouth, the quiet confidence in her posture, the way her eyes seem to hold both light and distance at once. It's not lust, not exactly. It's a deeper kind of gravity, the kind that makes control feel suddenly optional. And when she's in front of me, it's worse. The air changes, my focus fractures. There's something in the way she moves, unhurried, graceful, like she's unaware of the chaos she drags into a room. My instincts scream to keep my distance, but my body doesn't listen. She makes stillness feel like tension, silence feel like a dare. She's either the best facade I've ever seen, or she's the only person in this entire damn web who's exactly what she claims to be. And for the first time in a long time, I can't tell which truth scares me more. The phone vibrates beside me. Alex's name flashes on the screen. I hesitate before picking it up, because even as I prepare to pull her world apart, to dissect every truth and every lie, every part of me already knows she's not the threat I should be watching. She checks out on the surface, I say, eyes fixed on the photograph spread across my desk. Which means she doesn't. There's a faint exhale on the other end of the line. Alex Kingston, calm as always, the only man who knows when to question me and when not to. You want me to dig deeper? No. I lean back in my chair, fingers drumming once against the glass. I want to know who trained her, because she's not just a designer. Alex hums thoughtfully, the faint sound of a lighter flicking in the background. You think she's a plant? I think she's too damn polished, I mutter. Too good at saying nothing while making it look like she's saying everything. People like that aren't accidents. You sure this isn't about her being Windsor's daughter? My jaw tightens. There it is. This is about a woman walking into the most secret place I own and looking like she's been here before. There's a pause. Static hums between us. Alex's voice drops lower, more cautious now. Dominic, every instinct you've got is wired to see threats. Maybe this one's different. I stare at her photo. The soft blue eyes, the measured calm, that unsettling trace of something familiar I can't explain. My chest feels tight, but I don't show it. Maybe, I say quietly. Or maybe that's exactly what she wants me to think. Want me to keep an eye on her? I hesitate. Too long. No, I finally say. I'll handle her myself. Alex exhales again, a knowing edge in his tone. You mean you'll watch her? My lips curve faintly. Same thing. But it isn't, because this isn't just about suspicion anymore. It's about the way she unsettles every instinct I've built to survive, and how, for the first time in years, I can't decide if that makes her a threat or a weakness. By nightfall, I find her in the gallery corridor, where the ceiling opens to a partial view of the stars. She doesn't flinch when I approach. "You're working late," I say. She looks up from the blueprints in her lap. Her voice is calm, almost casual.
There's a lot to study. This house has layers.
"Careful," I murmur. "You might uncover something you're not supposed to." Her eyes meet mine, blue and sharp like the reflection of moonlight on glass.
Maybe that's why I'm here.
A strange pull tightens in my chest. I take another step forward because keeping distance suddenly feels like the wrong thing to do. "So, you admit it,
What admit?
that you're not just here to restore the building." She closes the file gently, setting it beside her.
What exactly do you think I am, Dominic?
Her tone is soft, teasing, but hearing my name on her tongue sends my blood to the south. It shouldn't, but it does. Trained, planted, programmed to be exactly what you are. Impressive, untouchable, and just barely open enough to pass for sincere. She tilts her head, studying me the way someone studies a painting, as if she already knows what lies beneath but wants me to say it anyway.
And who do you think sent me?
Knox, a politician, or someone I haven't met yet. Someone who wants to know how far they can push me. She stands, slow and deliberate, and suddenly the air feels charged. We're inches apart, close enough for her perfume, soft, addictive, to cut through the dust of the old house.
You really think I'm a threat?
She asks, her voice just above a whisper. "I think you're a mirror. I look at you, and all I see is what I can't explain." Her breath catches, just slightly.
Are you afraid of me?
She asks. I don't answer. My hand moves on its own, brushing a strand of hair from her face, my fingers grazing her skin longer than they should. She doesn't move away, doesn't even blink. "I don't fear anything," I say.
Not even the truth?
The air thickens. I should walk away. I should shut her out like I do with everyone else. But I don't. Not when she's looking at me like she sees past the monster. Like she sees the man I buried years ago. "I don't trust you, but I can't stop thinking about what your motives are."
Then we're even.
And for a single heartbeat, everything in the world stills. The ghosts, the danger, the war between us. There is only silence, and the impossible pull of her mouth so close to mine. But I turn before I let it happen, because if I give in to her now, I won't fucking stop. And I'm not sure what would burn more. Her lies, or the part of me that wants to believe them.